brother.
I am so honored to have this gentleman with us on this show. He has done so much in the music ministry and outside in different genres of music. I had the great pleasure and honor of serving with him while I matriculated at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and I was a member, an original member of the recording artist Otis Richmond and the Inner Court. This was our producer and manager, none other than this wonderful man and a person who I value as a great friend of almost 30 years. None other than Rod McDonald. He's a musician, a producer, and a manager. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show with Dr. LT and Robert L. Dean.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today? Thank you for having me on God Radio 1. I'm so excited to speak with you all this morning. And good morning, San Diego. How you doing?
Now, he just says San Diego. Now, Brother Rod, now, they didn't tell you, but you are worldwide and being heard in over
49
49
countries.
countries.
Well,
So,
all right, awesome.
so I just want to make sure that, good morning to San Diego, when I say good
And
morning.
surrounding
Yeah,
areas.
what I'm saying.
And
It's like saying,
surrounding areas.
and then around the country. Good morning, Africa.
Right.
Good morning, Kenya. Good morning, London.
Right.
So
Yes,
I just want to
indeed.
get this out of my system. Can I get it
What?
out?
What is
You
is,
know,
is it one of your beefs or is it one of your rumors? Because you always have them.
this is gonna be. I'm gonna change my beefs in my. I might have a rumor today, but this one is gonna be about observation.
Okay, come on.
Okay,
Observation.
Because you always
Right.
observing.
Observation. So, I want to know who has the other part of the dimple, or do you got dimples on both sides?
Well, I don't know who has the other part, but this is the one Mama gave me, so this is the one I'm gonna have to roll with.
Okay, so rumor has it that back in the day
Uh-huh.
that dimple got you in a whole bunch of trouble.
Apparently so. Let Robert Earl Dean tell it. He has all the stories. So
I'm
I
not
just kind of
telling.
roll.
I'm not telling nothing. I come in
I
peace.
just kind of roll with it.
Right? No, I come in peace and grace because I have nothing but wonderful, fun memories of traveling from Pine Bluff, Arkansas to Dallas, Texas
Yes.
to record. Let's talk about you and your
Okay.
start in the music industry. Period, because you're not just gospel. You can do jazz. You do it all.
Well, thank you, Robert. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in the music industry. I did my first concert when I was 5 years old. My dad sung a lot of quartet. The Mighty Clouds of Joy used to hang out in my living room, and with my dad and my mom would cook breakfast, and they're singing, and so that's kind of where I got my start is watching those professionals do their thing,
Hmm.
and everyone in the family either sang or played something. So I just think it was just part of the family culture.
It was in your blood.
It was in the blood.
Well, I'm just gonna ask. I got these questions to ask.
Uh
So
huh.
the first question is, I play. Is that a brand or is that a movement? Talk to me about the I play.
The iPlay, well, we came up with this as a band, with the iPod and all these things and in the pop culture. So as musicians, we kind of started to brand this for our studio. So you have to earn the iPlay brand.
Okay.
Um, so as a musician, if you come in and go through boot camp and you pass successfully, you get an I play or I sing, I write, I
Hmm.
produce. So for the musicians, it's I play.
Okay.
So it's a talking point. You want people to ask, "Hey, what is that for? What do you
Right.
do?"
Yeah. I'm. A, I'm.
That's
A,
promotions. That's
I'm.
promotions. Come
I'm gonna
on,
get a shirt.
promoter.
I'm gonna get a shirt that said "I save."
I say, there you go. That's what I'm talking
Because
about.
some people,
Yes.
some people think they act like they say have a form of godliness but deny the power thereof.
Uh huh.
So that's the first question. The second question that I want to
Preach,
have
man.
is about this concert at 5 years old. Who was all present at the concert? And what was the hit song of the concert?
Well, it was the True Tones, which was the name of the group that my dad sang with, and they were actually doing a tribute to Martin Dr. King. They had written a song that they had done, and we were in concert at the Singing Center. Robert Earl Dean can tell you all about that later. So it was, and my uncle was playing drums for the True Tones at that time. And for some reason, I think he had to work or he didn't come. So the leaders was like, hey, we're going to go ahead and do this concert. My dad was like, who's going to play? He said, well, Rod's going to play. He said, Rod doesn't play anything. He's 5. He said, oh, you hadn't been paying attention. That boy, and I played the entire concert at 5 years old.
Wow.
And so that's how I got started.
Okay. So the other question I want to have, did you go to the university at Pine Bluff at Arkansas or Arkansas at Pine Bluff?
I did for a semester. I took a couple of classes while I was still in high school. So I went to high school and college at the same time. But I did not graduate from there. I graduated from here in Texas.
Okay, and the reason why I asked is because I've noticed that everybody that went to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff is very, very, when they talk, they're very proper. And so I kind of want to know, because if you ever listen to Robert, you know, when he says University at Arkansas at Pine Bluff, you know, he gets very, very proper. So was there
Indeed.
something that took place on the college campus that made y'all so proper?
Absolutely, there's something that took place. It's called teachers.
Okay.
And my mother was one, and we were not allowed to speak improperly, except for when we were with our friends. You know, we kind of take a little liberties over there on the other side. So when you have that many educators in the school and in the church, it's difficult to get away with the slang. So, you know, every now and then we still take some liberties and have some fun. You know, it's no judgment here.
So let me ask you this question, and it could just be because I'm older now, but in growing up, we both, Robert Earl Dean and I, are Kojic guys.
He is too.
You know, and so growing up in the Kojic church, for us, the church was better than the club. I mean, we had the baddest musicians, we had the baddest women, we had the best social scene.
Yeah.
When did we lose that type of energy? Because I feel like now people are looking for everything else when we literally had it right there in the church.
You know, that's a great question. I've often wondered that myself, because growing up in church in Koji, I enjoyed it.
Yes.
Our parents had to call us and tell us to leave the church.
Yeah.
Because we were having so much fun.
Sure.
And everything was there. And I think that's where you start to see the shift in today's church culture, is that no longer does churches provide everything for the entire family.
Wow.
We had everything for every age group.
Yeah.
We had oratorical competitions and Bible competitions. We had music competitions. So everybody was doing something. So it was the place to be. And as you know, the church has always been the center of the African American community.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So everybody went to church. It was rare that you had that, and then the respect for the church that we had from that generation. Even Willie the Wino wouldn't step on the church ground if he thought he was drunk. So it was that culture has changed. So I think the respect is no longer there, and also that we need to make church fun again. We need to bring God into the center of our families, the center of everything we do, the center of every decision you make. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. First.
You better preach. You better preach. Now, how did you transition from Arkansas to Texas for one, and then how did you start doing the producing side of music?
Well, that's a great question, Robert. Thank you for asking that. I moved to Texas to go to college. That was my initial thing, to go to school to learn how to program computers and get into the computer technology industry, because I wanted to do it really for music. But I learned I had a knack for it, so I started to enjoy it. So I stayed in Texas and started to learn and grow from there. I got into producing because my best friend, Otis Richmond, wanted to record. And I was like, hey, you know, I got this technology degree. Let me figure out how to go about doing that. And then I had some great mentors, as I mentioned, the Clouds in the living room, my Uncle Jimmy, who played for the Spiritual Harmonizers of Little Rock. And then I had everyone in the family played something. So I wanted to record and to learn how to embrace that part of the industry. So there's a mentor that I have, and you guys know him as Al Bell. He wrote the hit song, I'll Take You There, that Mavis Staple made popular on...
Bell Records? Was it Stax or Bell?
On Stax.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Memphis.
On Stax Records in Memphis, Tennessee. So Al has been a true mentor to me in the music industry and understanding the business dynamics of music.
Now, is Al still around?
He is.
So can you find out when next time you see him? This is a two-part question. One's going to be geared towards Robert Earl Dean, but this is
Oh
to Al.
Lord.
Could you find out if did Pop Staples really have an attitude when he was playing his bass line? Because Mavis was taking all the song and all the parts, and Pop Staples waited till he got his little solo like boom, and he put all of it in,
And it's
but
legendary.
he seemed to be upset that he
Hmm.
didn't have more presence.
Well, I will ask that question. I've never asked him that question before, but I'll find out for you.
Okay. Now here's the other one. Now you and Robert go back to college days and
Yeah, I was a
everything
young
else.
one.
Um, Tell us. I
Tell
know you
y'all
got
what?
I know you got a good story on Robert Earl Dean at college. Could you tell us about the time? I heard the time that he sung so hard that he almost fell off the stage. Y'all had to catch him. Is that
Oh
true?
Lord Jesus. No.
I think I do remember an incident with Robert, but Robert he puts people together.
Uh huh.
Robert knows everybody and anybody. If you don't know him, you're going to know him by the end of the day. So I've always enjoyed that about Robert Earl Dean. I don't believe he meets strangers,
Hmm.
and you have to have people like that pulls people together and to bring the community together. If I want to know who someone is, I only have to make one phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
had a
better than Google.
Yeah, I had a boss that Latino, and every time there's a Latino questions come up, we would ask her, and she put out a sign out front of the door. I am not the Latino Yellow Pages, but I do want you to know that we have coined that Robert Earl Dean is the Wikipedia of gospel.
I'm telling you.
If you
Yeah,
need
he's
a
better than
connection,
Google.
and now we're gonna add Robert Earl Dean is the Yellow Pages of gospel. If you need a connection,
Jesus.
You
so
need a
Yellow Pages
connection.
and Wikipedia, you can don't Google Robert when it
Oh
comes to
Google
gospel.
Lord.
Robert.
Yeah,
You Google Robert. You don't have to make one phone call. You Google Robert Earl Dean. You can connect anybody in the music industry,
okay.
and that is a fact.
Well, working with
So
you was so fun. I remember we went to, I think, Monticello and opened up with Orlando Draper. I think he was in the workshop. And I remember
right.
us driving down those dark roads where it says, keep your eyes out because a deer might come out. And I remember being on the road with the group, just had so many great memories being in the inner court. How many albums did you produce with that group?
We did three projects with Otis Richmond and In Court, and all did well. Otis is a fantastic artist,
Yes, he
and
is.
I'm praying that I can sweet talk him into coming out with another project. So we've been talking about it. So I'm going to see if he's open to that collaboration. So we're going to see if he comes out with something else.
Now I want you to go and tell Otis, like in the Temptation,
Right.
don't nobody come see you, Otis. You tell him that in this case, everybody come to see him, Otis.
Yes.
And
Everybody comes
Otis, come
in.
on back, give us one more
That,
because
Listen,
we need some of that good foot stomping
yeah, that,
music.
that whole Richmond family, his father served
yeah,
as the minister of music for the first ecclesiastic jurisdiction of Arkansas for many, many years, which I
many
had the
years.
honor of being a part of as well. Just so many great musicians from that area. Jesse Earl Carter, the first person taught me about having a repertoire as a solo artist.
Poor.
Derek Jackson, who's from Memphis but was at First Trinity. So many people served at your church you grew up in. James Moore
Absolutely. James
served there
Moore.
as well. I mean, let's talk about your upbringing in the church of Arkansas, in Arkansas.
Listen, Robert, that is who shapes you. As no one's perfect, and you're always going to do things that
Hmm.
you're probably not proud of.
Right.
But the church always shapes who you are,
Yes.
and we had that strong foundation and those beliefs. We've done some things as youngsters, but we only going to go so far
So
because we
far.
knew that someone in the church is watching.
Yes, sir.
So we wanted to make sure that that foundation was there, and that was what it was, man. We had so much fun and enjoying being around the church members, being around music, and as youngsters, we had one of the best choirs in the state as youth.
Right.
because we just enjoyed singing and being around one another. And you know, it's interesting. We still are close and keep in contact with each other even to this day.
Mhm.
So that's what that foundation gives you. It gives you family. It gives you community. It gives you connection.
Now we learned to tour at a very early age
Mm-hmm.
because we were always on the road with choirs and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. Um,
Right.
I just wanted to find out from you because we had a staple tour menu, and Robert was like me. We understood that if there was 3 buses on the tour, that you always got on the bus where the mothers was at because the mothers would have that foil with the
Oh,
chicken
yes, sir.
and the 2 pieces of white bread, and they would have something to drink, and they would have something to sweet to eat. So when you were on tour, what was your staple product that y'all used to have to help you get through those nights where you were driving and you didn't have nowhere to stop to at that point?
Listen, chicken is always number one. It's going to be somewhere on a tour bus, right? But I also was partial to Kool-Aid.
Hmm.
You got to have some Kool-Aid.
Yes,
Wait,
Kool-Aid,
watch
Got to
this,
have
watch
some
this.
Kool-Aid.
Listen,
Got to
what,
have
what flavor?
red.
cherry. Mm-hmm.
No, see, when they always ask
Hey,
us
hey,
flavor, it's like red. We
yeah,
never say
red.
Never said a
Red.
specific
There's
one,
no,
huh? Right.
yeah, there's no flavor of Kool-Aid. It's either red or you or
yeah,
purple. You drink
A
something.
purple or grape.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And you had the opportunity of going to a church of a very progressive pastor, and he served as my pastor at his Little Rock church. This gentleman had 2 churches that were thriving in the 60s and 70s when
Hmm.
nobody in the country was having 2 churches. St.
That's right.
DeWitt Hill, he was the
St. David
international
Hill.
prayer warrior for the Church of God in Christ. Man, that man was incredible. He was an educator as well, former teacher. Talk about his influence because he influenced me. I came later, of
Oh,
course, but he was such a
oh,
great,
Robert.
great role model for me.
Yes, that's a great recognition. St. Dewood Hill, he was really ahead of his time. He was one of the first black pastors to have multiple churches and was on television
Television,
in the
radio.
when black people weren't on television and radio.
Yep.
Mhm.
He somehow did that. He also expanded, and he was big on doing things for the youth. I remember
Yes.
him having what we would call youth
Youth
congress,
Congress.
where he would have youth from all over the state come into the
Yes.
church and would have all these events for the youth and the young people. So that's why the church stayed so vibrant. So
Mhm.
it wasn't just he was just doing it to be seen. He was doing it to help us grow.
Mhm.
And those skills that I learned in the church, you want to know why I know how to run sound? I ran sound at church.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mhm.
want to know why I know about music and musicians? I did it at church.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why I can speak publicly? They made us do it at church. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
none of this is new to us, gentlemen. The reason that you gentlemen are on the radio, what did you do? You were at church.
Yeah, and that's so key, because we're in TV and
Mm-hmm.
documentaries and radio and
That's
sound and
right.
everything. Everything that everybody will say, "Wow, how did you come up with this? How did you come up with that?" We were in San Diego, one of the first churches that had a 5 camera mixing
Hmm.
video system. We had so much when I started playing instrument at 7 because my pastor said, I hear a lot of you guys want to play instruments. And we said, yeah. He said, everybody who want to play an instrument, sign up and come out Saturday.
Hmm.
And he brought a professor out, and then he brought every kid that in the church that wanted to play their
That's right.
instruments. And he basically said, I want to have a brass band. We started touring because he was so happy that he had the brass band. Every time he would go somewhere, he said, load the children up on the bus. I got to
Yes.
take my brass band with me.
Yes.
And we got in front of thousands of people at
Yes.
ages of 7
That's
and
right.
8.
Mm-hmm.
My
That's right.
uncle was one that saw Robert Earl Dean when Robert Earl Dean was knee high to a peanut,
Yeah.
and said, come on up here and
Yep.
put him up on little props so that they
Yep.
could see him and let them sing. But that's the
That's
thing
it.
that I'm trying to encourage churches and pastors. They got to be
Bring it
well
back.
rounded.
Bring
So
it
let me
back.
say this because we are all in not just the Christian industry, but we're in the global industry of music and everything else. Let's talk
That's right.
about some of the projects that you've worked on outside of the church as you still
Oh,
represent
okay.
at the church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the newest thing that I'm doing right now, my band has been wonderful. I want to do a shout out to the Kendrick Jazz. band that I play with. These are incredible musicians, very gifted. They've been playing with me for years on every project that I've ever done, in and out of the studio, live, and uh, so we have one thing we didn't do. We've never recorded a project of our own.
Hmm.
So we decided this year, and it started really during the pandemic, that we were going to do a smooth jazz project to kind of feature and highlight what these musicians love and enjoy. So that's what we're working on right now. And matter of fact, you gentlemen are the first to know. We just released a new single called Liquid Gold that is on your favorite music platform starting today.
And we have it. Our program director's been holding it until you gave us the okay. She
Yeah,
loves
I
it.
have. I'll send you the last version for it, Robert, so you can play it whenever you're ready.
She loves it. She
And
heard it.
yeah, and we've got another one coming next month right after that. And we just simply named that KJ, Kendrick Jazz, which is
Hmm.
the logo you see here on my shirt,
Hmm.
for Stanford Kendrick Jazz. So that we named the song to kind of, we feel like this song really highlights the skill and musicianship of the members of the band. So that one will be out next month. So we're going to release a series of singles, just so something we wanted to do to leave a legacy for these great musicians that we played with for years.
Now, shoo doo boop boop. I've been looking for a band, woo doo boop boop doo doo, that I could be a part of,
That you can play
because
your horn. Not sing, but play your horn.
I, I I I rebuke your interruption right now. I'm trying to work a deal.
Right.
I've been very very blessed to have a very anointed ministry of the shush. Yeah, shh.
Oh, the
So I
James
just want to
Cleveland.
okay.
want you to know that my new management and agent and everything else that nature has put me on for those people that need me to feature on their new projects with the shush. I can give you the
Okay.
I can give you the
Uh
or I
oh.
can give you the shh. So this I just want to let you know that as you're recording,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying. If you need a
Uh huh.
or a shh on your project, I'm your guy for you. Have your people call
Hey,
my people. We're
I
gonna work
got
it
you.
out.
We're gonna lock it in. We're gonna work that out.
You see,
Yeah, we're gonna
Robert,
lock that
Yes.
in.
you was trying to interrupt me, and I
Oh
was
no,
just
no,
trying.
no. I was just trying to make sure that you land in the right place.
Okay, all right. Now, I want you to know, if you look, I want Robert look directly in your camera right now. I want you to know, if no, that camera right in front of you, right there, right there. Look at you. Don't Robert look like Gandhi?
I can't see Robert.
You can't. Oh, you can't. You got to flip.
I can't see Robert.
Oh, you got to flip you got to slide your camera, your little screen
Let me.
over. No, you don't flip it the wrong way. No, not this slide. Just take your finger and go like that, and you should be able to see
Oh,
him too.
there he is.
See?
There he is.
Don't look like Gandhi.
Hey, what's up, Robert?
What's up?
He does look like Gandhi, doesn't he? Yeah, yeah. Let's
Yes.
favor him a little bit.
So, and I
That
say
that
that
means
because,
there's a lot of wisdom in that head of
yeah,
his. So that's what that is. Yeah.
yeah, I say that a lot of times about Robert because
Yes.
he is, like you said, he is a person that brings people together, and he's selfless of how he does it, and and everybody that he brings
Absolutely.
on when he started talking about you, I saw Quincy Jones and a picture of you, and it kept going back and forth because that's how much esteem he brought when he brought you to the table. So I want you to know that we're godly proud of the work that you're doing, and we want to make
Thank you.
sure that we continue to support your ministry and your outreach. I know Robert got a couple more questions, but before that, can you tell us how we can connect with you, how we can, get the on your project, all of that? How can people connect with you and book you?
Absolutely. You can connect with us, kendrajazz.com, or you can simply go to either Facebook or Twitter, Kendra Jazz Band, and we're there.
Okay.
Feel free to, or you can go through, but the Gospel Yellow Pages, Robert Earl Dean.
All right. Go on, Yellow Pages.
I just want to say this because I haven't said it openly. How much I appreciate you and your auntie Bernice Grissom Smith and Jesse Carter and my god brother Mark Dean and Daryl Wilkerson. When I came to Pine Bluff, I was very insecure. Um, didn't really know where my voice was because I have a very
Hmm.
distinct and unique voice, but I didn't know. where my voice was. And coming to that state of Arkansas saved my life and was the best decision that I made. And I heard about Greater Trinity because I was on a scholarship at Philander Smith, a Methodist school,
Hmm.
and a
I remember.
wonderful school, but I hated it. And so going to Methodist churches every Sunday and you're a culture kid is almost like putting a bird in a cage. So the money was paying for school, so I had to go through that. But I remember one night I was listening to the radio, and they said there's a youth revival going on at the Greater Trinity Church of God in Christ. And that's all I needed to hear. They said the number. I called the number. Sister Wilkerson, may she rest in peace, Mother Wilkerson, sent
Yes.
Daryl Wilkerson. He picked me up, and the rest is history. One of the greatest churches,
Wow.
one of the baddest choirs
Yes,
alive
sir.
during that time that I was there, and it's in
Yes,
this
sir.
in the
Yes,
state
sir.
just gave me so much being with Elder Hill. I was on the radio, I was on TV. The
Yes,
gentleman
sir.
on the mortuary and a cemetery. That's very progressive, and he was best friends with your uncle
Mm-hmm.
Bishop Blake
Mm-hmm.
and Bishop McKinney. These are
Mm-hmm.
all Arkansans.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a pattern of these people
Hmm.
who always invested in young people, who always talked about having wealth on earth, who talked about being the best representative of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank you all because I'm where I am today because of attending the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff and being around people like you and Otis. I was with Otis Richmond all the time. He took me under his wings. Fred Williams
Right.
from Texas. All these people made me who I am, man. And it's days that I sit and I just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're standing on a lot of shoulders, Robert. I appreciate you saying that, but it's not just us. You're standing on a lot of shoulders that gave back, like what you articulated about Mother Wilkerson sending her son to come pick you up. Didn't know you,
Didn't know
but
me.
throughout our travels throughout the country, we are. I don't care where I go. First thing I look up, hey, where's the Koji Church?
Me too.
Because there's so much history there and so much love in those churches, and we need to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the young people now are losing out on something that we got,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and we got it freely. No one had to pay for it. No
Mm-mm.
one had to beg for it.
No.
People just did it because they showed the love for the young people that was coming up. So we need to get back to that. And that's one of the things I try to do, even in producing. I try to work with a lot of young producers that are coming up, a lot of young musicians, and say, hey, here's the right way to do it. It's not the
Yes.
fast way.
Right.
It's the right way.
Right.
It's the way that how do you put your business together to make sure you got all your licenses and
Mm-hmm.
your paperwork and your
Come on.
bank accounts and
Come
your
on.
tax IDs, all those things that are important to make you legitimate in the eyes of the business or the industry.
Hmm.
So you got to do those type of things in order to get to where you want to go. As Tank always say, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
That's right.
Well, the tank is peaking now.
The artist,
That's right.
Oh, the
the
artist tank.
Artist
recording or
Tank,
the R&B
Okay.
sensation,
the R&B
who's from the
sensation.
church as well.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm saved. I didn't know
Right.
who Tank
Right.
was.
Right. Right.
No, Tank was just on one of the BET Award
Yeah.
shows just
Yes,
recently,
sir.
and he's actually in a
Yes,
movie
sir.
with one of the artists. Some of the artists that just came out. So my final thing is simply this, and this ain't no shade. I just want to ask the question. I noticed that the folks from Arkansas, they don't have no facial hair and they don't have no top hair. Is that something that y'all decided that we're gonna all just go straight clean shaven? Because I've gone to other places and everybody's trying to be super fly with all the beard,
Hmm.
and I'm just trying to get
Hmm.
in between because I got hair here and a little bit here, but I tried the beard thing,
Right.
and
It didn't work.
and my beard
Didn't work.
it just won't cooperate.
It left him hanging, Robert. Left him
It,
hanging.
it was patchy. You know how they say that person over there is touchy. Mine was
It
patchy.
was patchy.
Well, I don't know if it's an Arkansas thing, but it's definitely a business.
Mhm.
So I'm an executive in a wonderful company here in Texas that when you're conducting business, you want to put your best foot forward and you
Hmm.
want that clean, and I call it the President Obama look. You want that clean look to make sure that people take you seriously when you're conducting business.
Hmm.
Not that you can't do that with, with a beard and facial hair and all those types of things, but you want to be able to, when you go into a business situation, to remove the ability for anyone to say no.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
I
let
want yes
That's
yeah.
good teaching.
So let me. What part of Texas are you in?
in Dallas.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question, and it's a three-part question, and you don't hem and haw with this. You got to
Uh-oh.
say the three-part. Number one, the best
Best
soul food restaurant in Dallas. Number one, the best barbecue
barbecue.
in Dallas.
I knew that was
Number
coming.
two, and then the most anointed church in Dallas.
You know I'm not going out on that
No,
limb.
sir. I don't blame you. Smart man.
You know I'm not going out on that limb. I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to answer all three questions in one. Dallas has some of the best soul food, barbecue, and anointed churches in America. All you have to do is pick one. Just go for it.
See, that's why
But he's a
he
businessman.
gonna get a yes instead of a no. So when you go to Dallas, if you pick one and it don't taste good, I want you to say, wait, where that man at that said everything good?
Right, he's a
But
businessman.
but the one thing about it is that the times that I've gone to Dallas, you are absolutely right. There's so much to choose from, and
So much to
we
choose
we are
from.
really pushing the whole effort to help young people know that the party ain't over there. The party's over here. Come on back and
That's
let's
right.
get in together.
That's
And we're
right.
challenging pastors to say, hey, let's give these young people something that they
Purity class,
yeah.
sunshine
Yeah,
band,
and pastors, you
all
don't
that
have to
stuff.
have tattoo Fridays to get them to come in.
No.
You don't
No,
have to have
you have to
sip
have the
sip past
gimmicks.
Bible studies to get them to come in.
Skating parties still work. Roller
Yeah,
skating still work. Bowling parties still work.
just food in general. You
Just
you
food in
you you, you
general.
could have a barbecue and invite them in.
A Taco
And
Tuesday night. All
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
all
There's
kind
all
of
kind of
things.
things.
Well, with that being said, brother, we thank you for your
Yes, we
time.
do.
We
It's an
want you to
honor.
Oh, you're
continue to
welcome.
be
I'm
the man
honored.
of God who you are.
Yes.
And when we come to Texas,
Come on.
I'm gonna call you up. I'm gonna say Robert Earl Dean, call him up, and I'm just gonna I'm
Come
like saying
on.
we here, and I want you to send somebody for us with a stack of ribs.
Oh,
With a stack
this
for
man
real.
used to host our group at his house
Uh-huh.
in North Little Rock. I remember. So he
That's
is
right.
very hospitable and he's outgoing. You ain't got to worry about that. He'll take care of us.
Any
Listen,
final words, my brother?
whenever you're here in Dallas, just give me a call and we're going to make sure you get some ribs from your favorite rib joint, wherever it may be. Or we may just throw some out on the back patio
See,
here and throw some ribs and do it ourselves.
see,
Yeah,
It's always a rib thing in Texas, man. You can
yes.
yeah.
never,
It,
you
it- you
know.
know, yeah. It ain't nothing about being in the backyard with some red Kool-Aid. Oh, we lost them. We lost them. But with that being said, I want to let you know that
Yes.
we had a very, very great time
Yes.
with.
Mr. Rod McDonald.
All right, y'all. We'll get back to a song that he produced himself from Drea Randall. This is Do What's Right.